Hello, welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host TDT, and you can refer to me as Miss T. Let me get the music going. Um, uh, y'all said the thumbnail. I'm actually hyped about this. I'm actually hyped about this. Usman versus Canelo, maybe in the fall. Before we get into that, let's turn to. Welcome back, welcome back. I was over here jamming. Y'all know, jamming to my own music. When I say she got her own music, she has her own music. Every time I think of that. As usual, in the beginning of the show, we always do a water check. Water check. And I always advocate that we drink our water, right? So this is, as usual, y'all know, 10 bottles for me. That means 80 ounces, but this is the 10th bottle. So after this, by the end of the show, I would have drank 10 bottles. Also, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please like and share as you step into the square circle. Lean on that lazy when you step into the heezy. And don't forget on the replay, share your comments. Let me know the feedback. Good, bad, and ugly. Give me the feedback because I do listen to you guys or whatever. So, again, we drink water. I always tell you like the two most important times that you're gonna drink water. If you're gonna be on the water tip at all, if you don't drink that much water, the 2 times you need to drink it is before them feet hit the floor. When you wake up in the morning, break yourself off 8 ounces. Because just think of the body as an engine to get the body revved up, going and everything. Water is the lube. At night before you go to bed, not when you're sitting in the bed looking at TV, but when you're about to close your eyes because important work is about to go down. You're gonna reboot, recharge, juvenate. You're gonna do a lot of things. You're gonna burn the most calories. You're gonna flush your system out. That's why a lot of times when you get up in the morning, first thing you gotta use the bathroom, getting rid of all those toxins. So that's only 16 ounces a day. But here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we advocate for at least 100 ounces a day. All of us who, especially adults, we all can drink at least a gallon of water a day. I know that seems a lot. That's 128 ounces. But we advocate for at least 100 ounces a day. So we need to get acclimated to that. Yes, in the beginning, because For my wellness show, people still ask like, how long does it take before you stop having to go to the bathroom all the time? The answer is not a definite answer. It's to each his own. Like everybody's body is different. In the beginning, you will urinate more, but over time that will dissipate. You will get on your regular pace of how much you got to go to the bathroom. In the beginning, yes, when you acclimating yourself to drinking water, 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 and so don't let that deter you. Um, it's a way to do it, even if you got to go to work. I know that some people might not, might have a job where they're outside all day, or they might not have access to a bathroom right away, and that might be a problem. Start small then. Like I said, the two times we gotta drink water is in the morning before our feet hit the floor, and at night before we close them eyes. And just think, if you add two more bottles of water in that whole day, you just slowly but slowly but slowly. And I'm telling you, your body's resilient, it'll pick it right up. But let's get into a little bit of boxing news. I did want to read off the schedule again. I had that up the other day. Let me see. No. Okay, here we go. Um, yeah. Y'all, allergy season has started. I had a lot of pollen on my car. I drive a white car, so I can see it. I had a lot of pollen on my car. I'm gonna tell you guys, go on and get your Zyrtex, your Allegra, and I don't know the other names, but I personally rep the Zyrtex. I think it's the big cat daddy of all the allergy medicine, and I have it severely, so I like Zyrtec. And over the counter can get you through in a pinch, but if you have allergies that severe, you might want to go get a prescription. And I know everybody can't, it's not that easy. I know y'all saying it's not that easy, T, to just be making appointments to go see the doctor. Every time you go, it costs, but it's worth it. And because I should have known about just how I'm feeling, you're gonna get better sleep, because I'm telling you, especially if you live in an area where you have a lot of allergy problems. And where I live, it's bad for people allergies. But I'm on the Zyrtex. I felt a whole lot better, and I'm gonna pop some things like M&Ms. So allergy season, make sure y'all get right. Make sure you're taking your vitamins and all that good stuff. The boxing schedule as of today, the latest and greatest. You got Ramirez versus Pedraza. That is tonight, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be on ESPN. So you know what? I almost panicked. That's actually going to be on ESPN Plus. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, before I go in, let me introduce Eric Gomez is in the building. What's poppin', King? As y'all see too, when I do my thumbnails, I'm actually gonna put the time the show starts, only because I hate the fact that it keeps showing the incorrect time and everything. And I just want y'all to have the correct time for when the show starts. There's no definite answer as to when the show ends. I try to do about an hour and a half. So So y'all bear with me. When we cooking. And like when that train get to going, I don't try to stop it. I try to go with the flow. But if I'm just putting out the information I read today, then I'm just gonna go with an hour and a half. But how many fights we got coming up? So I read it scheduled earlier this week, but Ramirez and Pedraza is tonight on Fight TV and ESPN Plus. That's tonight. Now I know that ESPN Plus is not user friendly. I do have it, so I just got to dig deep and try to find it. I don't think it's a pay per view on ESPN Plus. Sometimes you can go to like the Crawford fight. Even though you had ESPN Plus, you still had to pay. It was a discounted price than what others probably paid, but you still had to pay. This particular fight is not one of those. And once they play it, I can always go back. But if it was regular ESPN, I would have had to stop and say, "Hold up, let me go make sure it's being taped." Martinez versus Chocolatito. That's on the Zone March 5th, 9 p.m. Also on March 5th, Lara versus Sanchez on the Zone March 5th, 9 p.m. And next week, Wood versus Conlon, the Zone March 12th at 2 p.m. So I'm gonna just read the marches. Avanesian versus Mets on BT Sports March 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Baru versus Chavez March 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It doesn't say what network. We don't know them anyway. I'm sorry, guys. Ortiz Jr. versus McKenzie. That's Virgil Ortiz, to be exact, the 147-pounder out of Golden Boy. That's going to be on the Zone March 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Berlanga versus Rose, ESPN. This regular ESPN, March 19th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Martinez versus Warrington 2 on the Zone, March 26th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Riakapori versus Turchi on Sky Sports, March 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. March is not a hot ticket item for boxing this one. It's just really not. It's not terrible, but it's not the hot ticket item. But tonight is gonna be a good fight. When I get off, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch that Ramirez and Ramirez and Pedraza. I was gonna say Chocolatito. Look, he on my mind. I'm gonna have some news about him too. So don't forget to tune in tonight. If y'all can. These are both Jose Ramirez and Jose Pedraza. Ramirez, if you forgot who he was, he the one who fought Josh Taylor. I believe, y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I believe he's the one who was the last puzzle piece that enabled Josh Taylor to become undisputed. He was a force to be reckoned with. He was undisputed at that time. And to be honest, I did not see Ramirez losing anytime soon. Like when they met up, I thought he was actually going to win. Josh Taylor beat him handily. Y'all know how I feel about Josh Taylor. He's a dirty fighter. He just, it's one thing to try to get away with a dirty trick here and there, but if you take all his dirty tactics out, he'll get his ass whipped. Like I can't even, that's how I feel from what I can see. But then I can't have a real assessment to say otherwise, because all I know him to do is to fight dirty. And I've seen enough of his fights to say that. He does. He does that shit on purpose. He's a disregard. But like I said, Ramirez was his last puzzle piece. And at the time that they met, Ramirez was undefeated. He was a force to be reckoned with. Dude was, I guess, he had a cause. His cause didn't change from fight to fight. He wanted to uplift and help his people here. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good man, good-hearted man. And I can't remember in depth, so I'm not even going to try to talk about his cause, but it was a worthwhile cause for what he felt and what he believed. And so he was legit, talking about Jose Ramirez. He was a legit dude. And Pedraza, if you forgot who he was the one who Tank got at. I think Tank gave him his first loss. And yeah, looking back in hindsight, they kind of hyped the dude a little bit. He might have deserved some of the hype, but I don't know. I didn't hate him. I didn't dislike him at all. But I guess he was a contender. That's how I would say it. But they was hyping him up and all that, and so that was a good win. on Tank's resume right there. So, that was a good opponent. So when people say, who have you fought? Draza was, according to the powers that be, was the shit. He was undefeated. And Tank gave him that O. And like I said, if my information is skewed or messed up, you guys let me know. What else? So these two guys, I would say it's worth it to tune in if you got the app. I ain't say it's worth it to buy the app now. But if you get the app, not that they pay me, I'm just telling you my experience. You're gonna get they offer a package, and so the package I took was Hulu, Disney Plus, and of course ESPN Plus. And I think I want to say I paid $19 for 99 cents a month with no commercials. So whenever I go to those channels, I don't have no commercials. I go, straight movie, whether it's a show or whatever they playing on those channels, I don't have to deal with commercials. So, I mean, to me, it was worth it. Some people be like, "Fuck it, give me the commercial," because if I took the commercials, it would have been like 13 something, 13.99. So I just didn't take the commercial. But anyway, I ain't gonna be mad at you if you go check that out. So don't forget that. But the fight that I want to talk about that's either here or it's not. Where DJ at? Where DJ? Because I know DJ can pontificate on this a little bit more better than me. Listen, I have never seen this guy fight, but I've heard fans of UFC and all that talk about this guy. Kamaru Usman. This DJ, I've heard him talk about him. Usman, or however you say his name. And so I know of the guy without ever having really seen him fight. And I'm interested. I told you guys I'm trying to make a journey towards UFC and really Bellator. I like that because it's just more exciting. I'm sorry. Boxing is letting the fans down a lot. I will always love boxing. It's one of those people in your life you just can't let go. That's what boxing is. You just can't let them go. That boyfriend you just can't get rid of. You try to walk away, but you got like 5 babies with him, and you just can't let him go. You're telling yourself he's your soulmate, whatever. So, he believes that he can beat Canelo Alvarez. Now that he wants to fight him. Now, the boxer side of me is saying, another one bites the dust. Here it is again, another UFC person think that they can do boxing. And if I had ran a poll, I wonder what it would say, actually, like, what's the hardest between the two? Because I know that question is thrown around and asked often. My answer would be boxing. It would just always be boxing. I think it's harder. I think it's fighting is innate in humans, period, in animals, period. And I think with humans, when you start to fight, the innate part of it is you put your hands up and you try to stand on your feet and, throw your hands. It's due to lack of conditioning, strength, and stamina, and a whole lot of things why you would take it to a wrestling stance, and that you can be tired. Most people don't realize it, but you got about, I'm talking about the average young person, maybe got about a good 25 seconds before they start getting tired, standing on their feet, throwing hands. That's why boxing's so real. The average person is not gonna be able to do it. You really have to bone up and get a routine going to learn how to throw hands. It's just not easy, because if you look at any fight, I know y'all always say world star or whatever. Look at any fight. They're standing there, they put their hands up, they start, throwing them hands. I give it like 25 seconds. They wrestling, they grabbing each other, kicking, they doing everything but boxing. Why? Because they're tired. It's not that easy. So that's why I will always pick, in general, boxing is harder. But overall, as a sport, they both equal to me. I'm gonna go ahead and give them equality, because anybody. I used to think like anybody could get into MMA and just perfect it, if or not, but they could do it. But I'm gonna change my thoughts on that a little bit more, because I don't know what kind of body you gotta have, even when you're in condition. I seen somebody wrestling the other day, and the girl had her. It was just a little clip. It was probably old. It's new to me, but the girl, it was one. The girl was laying on her back, and another girl was over top of her, but her end was like kind of like over her face and all that. She was grabbing the girl hands, and the other girl was trying. She was holding her hands down like this. So the other girl kind of went over her and kind of put her arm or something up under the girl arm, and she must have tugged because you heard pop, just one pop. There's good things, and there's good news and bad news. The one pop mean it just broke clean in half. Like it didn't shatter or smush or anything like that. But she was like pop, and I'm telling you, she got off the girl immediately. The ref kind of was leaning back. The girl who got her arm broke sat up, and I mean her whole arm was turned to the back. DJ, if you're listening, this is what be getting to me, but it wasn't. I handled it a lot better because normally I'd have been sick. I'd have been sick to hear it. That just shit just vulgar to me. But I'm getting better at it. It's probably good that the way the girl who arm got broke handled it. Like I said, this probably is not nothing current. It looked like a video that might have been out for a while. I'm just new to seeing it. And I think about when was it Joe Theismann that got his leg broke, or somebody in football? Oh my God. I know every now and then back then I would watch football games. When they started doing shit like that, I stopped. So I must just got a weak stomach or whatever. But I'm slowly acclimating myself into that UFC world or MMA/Bellator. But I can tell you, I like Bellator. I just like it. It just makes more sense to me. MMA, I just be like, I lose interest quick. But Bellator, I be like, I'm at the edge of my at the edge of the bed, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? So yeah. But Kamara Usman is a famous UFC fighter, and apparently he's the goods. He believes he could beat Ed. He can beat Canelo. Canelo. I.e. Canelo. He believes he can beat him. He really, really believes it. It's not. He's very sincere in his belief. And now I can pick a winner right now, just on boxing knowledge or UFC knowledge, the little bit that I got, and I'm gonna say Canelo win that fight easy. I'm gonna say easy. If I was betting, because I always like to take. When I bet, for some reason, I like to take the underdog. That's probably why I'm not a good bettor, but like I would take the underdog, and to me, in this case, would be Usman, because I just, when UFC people come to fight in boxing, I have yet to see how they streamline their routines enough where they can come off credible, like, a halfway decent fight. You don't even, if you're a combat person, if you're into combat sports, you already got everything necessary to even get in the boxing ring. But you just need to fine tune some of your skills or whatever, because there's things you can do in boxing that you can't do in UFC and vice versa. But I've yet to see UFC person acclimate good enough. And this is why I will pick Canelo. And I don't think Canelo is on Floyd Mayweather type time. He ain't gonna play with you. He ain't gonna string you along. He gonna do what he was supposed to do, like show you who's Big Daddy up in there. He's not gonna play. So, if Usman got it and he really believes it, he got me hyped. I will say that and I will be considered a casual in UFC, MMA, and Bellator. I would be considered a casual. I give myself a novice status in boxing, but I'm pretty past novice. But that got me hyped. It really got me hyped, because there's some UFC people that be like, I want to come over to box. I be like, stay your ass where you at. Just stay on over there. But this one got me hyped, mainly because I known of Usman. I've heard enough people who are really into that world, who really likes him, and really be talking about him like he's the goods. Then when I seen what he looked like, I mean, how fit he is and everything, he was like, I ain't scared. I mean, y'all got to check the article out. He's like, shit, run that shit. Um, and again, full disclosure, I've never seen this man fight, but I got Canelo winning. And so I was gonna ask you guys what y'all think about it, because hey, it's all right with me. Let me put the link in the chat. I'm cool with it. In fact, I'm hyped for it. Like, I'll pay. Now look, y'all know another thing. Sometimes it takes something grand to get Miss T off her stick. Because you know I'm not buying no PBC fights. But Canelo don't necessarily belong to PBC. But I also told you I don't really buy Canelo fights. You know, even before him and Caleb Plant met up in November, his previous fights, I didn't buy them. I don't buy none of them shits. Because I'm just, y'all know why I don't like the man. I don't hate him. And it's not so much his talent that make me don't like him. It's the shit he do outside the ring. He's not a bad guy. He's just a cheater. And that's just how I see him. But just to be clear, if he wasn't doing that, I could be a fan. But to me, Canelo, and I know Canelo fans probably don't agree, and that's okay. To me, he does move very strategic in his picking opponents. He does fight. You know, he tries to get. He just became undisputed at 168. He is trying to be undisputed at 175, and then he's trying to get some championship belts at cruiserweight, which is like between 190 and 200. And shout outs to him for that. I mean, because he is trying to gain some awards or get some accolades. He's not doing it just for the money. If it was really for the money, I'd be like, man, fuck Canelo. I'm not looking at him because of the way he make his moves. But he sees, you know how you see a weak person and you pounce on them. You know, like any animal, like you see a weak person, maybe they hobbling, and maybe you just know you can get them or whatever. To be a boxer, I think, or any combat sport, you kind of have to have in your repertoire a little predatory nature. You got to have some of that. And so Canelo is a predator, as expected. Not knocking him for that, but he do seem to pounce on the easiest targets. That's just me. He do. He hasn't fought Andre, and he don't want to. He gives excuses like he's not exciting, he's boring. Then fight him then. Make it exciting. Whenever y'all start hearing anybody commentate and say, oh, they're not exciting, they're boring, you as the fighter make up for that. Make up for that. It's a two-way street in there. It's not a one-sided street. You can't put the onus on the one person. When you get in the fight and you in there with somebody that don't need to be in there with you, but you know shouldn't be in there with you, what is the thing that you're supposed to do? Then you end it. You get them out of there. You don't pussyfoot around. There's an answer for all those damn excuses, because that's in the end of the day, they come off sounding like excuses. He's boring. He's not exciting. He isn't a draw. And when you say, as I said before, those three words in combination or in concert with each other, that amounts to you talking about a black fighter. It's a way to duck a black fighter, because I never hear them, and this is me, and if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I'm saying I've never heard boxers who talk like that about anybody but a black fighter. And that's all a part of exclusion. And that's ducking. And but Canelo doesn't want to fight Andre. And these are things he said. And then he'll say something which is crazy to me. Payday. You want a payday? But Canelo, that's what you wanted when you fought Floyd. I will hope every boxer who get in the ring want a payday. I will hope they do. You would think that would be the first and foremost thing that they want. It is prize fighting. So we can't offer that up as a factor or a mitigating factor for anything of whether a match should be made or put on or anything. That is moot. Everybody in boxing wants a payday. That's everybody. There's no daylight between one boxer to the next on that one. Everybody will want a big payday. There's no daylight between one boxer to the next. If you are the cash cow, Canelo, you are in a unique position that Floyd was in when you fought him, and you wasn't in this position. But God has blessed you, and you're in a unique position that whenever you fight, you're gonna get the big paydays, and whoever fights you can become an instant millionaire. But that's something you should celebrate, Canelo. That shouldn't be something you hold over somebody's head in a negative way, but that should be something you celebrate. Like, shit, when you fight me, you're going to become an instant millionaire, because it goes to your brand. It goes to the essence of you. And to me, it raises your stock when you are the person to be. And, you're the high ticket item. To me, it's all positive publicity when somebody get it, because that's what they want. Every fighter you gonna fight wants that shit. Some of the fighters you're picking, they was on their way out the door on their last leg. We never heard of them. You made their millennium. You ain't just made their day or their year. You made their decade or decades. Like Macabu. Come on, let's be realistic. And I apologize if it seems like I'm being harsh. Macabu is never gonna tantamount to anything big in boxing. Just not gonna do it. I don't mean to be harsh. If he was, he would have done it. This dude don't look like no spring chicken. When I look at him, I don't think 22, 23, 24. I think mid-30s. What is he ever gonna gain in boxing? The biggest he could hope for is something like you about to gift him. Now, what they saying Canelo fights can be this year. Beeville is coming up. We know in the fall he won a Triple G. But both of them fights ain't guaranteed. And then the third one was whatever. But what's good about that whole schedule? We're fighting more than twice a year, which I can say I can give you kudos for that, because other people ain't doing that shit. And as far as what a lot of the fighters are saying, they're not even getting the fights. So if you ain't getting the fights, why aren't you not fighting more than 2 times a year? Again, everybody want to be money made, TV. They don't want to be pretty boy. So when Canelo says something like, "Yeah, y'all need to fight each other, stop waiting on me," that has relevance. Y'all know I'm being unbiased. I don't even like the guy. That is not my guy. I don't root for Canelo. But if he right, he right. So that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna be biased about it. He right about that. If a black fighter said that, they would be right. If Floyd said that, they would be right. But I will also recognize the fact that if, when black fighters say that, it's almost like they can't say no shit like that. What the fuck y'all bother me for? Won't y'all fight each other? That would never stand. They would never let no black fighter have that type of power or feeling like they could say some shit like that. They always want to have some kind of control or dominance over them. But, Canelo, again, he got the complexion for the protection. That's not his fault. How he was born and what he looked like. But he definitely milking that shit. And some people say they don't care. I wouldn't care. Get what you get, player. But do understand when it comes into the assessment of you, it will matter in the end, especially if you're very strategic and you're not fighting the big fights. Nobody is asking for Triple G. There may be some interest in Bivol, but there's no one really that's asking for Triple G. You won the fights, that's it. You're gifting this man who they touted to be the second coming, like he was all that. All that talk about Triple G. Triple G was getting that prominence like Lomachenko was getting. Well, whatever happened? Whatever happened? You guys like and share and subscribe. Just click the button. Take a half a second. Come in, like, share, and subscribe. Because the numbers, I don't see any numbers on it. I don't know what's going on. But right after I got off, I had more numbers than what I could see. So just like, share, and subscribe, please. Please, 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 please. Hook the sister up. Um, so and then going back to the Usman challenge. I don't know this guy. Never saw him fight. But I know, to me, a boxer beats a UFC fighter any day of the week and twice on Sunday. It's just what it is, what it is. But I know, look, I ain't mad. I ain't mad if a UFC fighter, MMA, or Bellator fighter ever comes into that square circle and win. I ain't mad. Now, let me critique that a little bit. Let me pump the brakes. If it was Crawford, because it's my favorite fighter, and he let some UFC person beat him, I feel a certain way. But again, my anger or my emotion is fleeting because it doesn't last forever. It doesn't even last 30 minutes. And, I'm always reminded of being at the Deontay Wilder fight. That was one of the best fights I ever been to, in my opinion, because it was Deontay Wilder, and I'm such a big fan. It's Wilder country over here. And so when he knocked him down in that fourth round, I'm over there with the British people. You would think we should be at each other's neck. They were just as kind as they could be. These are the things that I'm gonna walk away with and think of that fight in a nostalgic point of view, because the British fans were just as nice and kind as they could be. They were truly exemplifying, look, we can all have fun, we can talk our shit and swallow spit, but we gonna be respectful and love each other in the end. And that's what I remember. That meant more to me than anything. There was no bitterness, there was no hate, there was no fear, there was no nothing. And they were telling the truth, from their mouth. Their exact words. Well, I ain't gonna do exact words because I can't remember exact words, to be fair. But I'm gonna paraphrase. Yeah, he won, but they didn't count it though. Sorry. They shrugged their shoulders like, I didn't do it. They did it. And I'm just referring, when I say that, I'm referring to when Wilder knocked him out in the fourth round and took him 15 to 17 seconds to get out. The fight should have been over. Even the British people admitted that, but they said, sorry. And so just how they were acting made me act the way I acted. And I think when UFC and boxing meets up, it'd be that same type of rivalry, and it's all good in the field. Conor McGregor, how him and Floyd handled themselves in the end, is how the fighters carry themselves too, because attitude reflects leadership. So how, Floyd is notorious for not digging deep and, peeling the scab off at the end of the fight. Now we know Floyd to be shrewd and very machismo and macho, and he got to be the dominant alpha male, and Floyd to be like that. But and all this, you got to say Floyd has a heart a little bit, because at the end of every fight, he could go in deep. He could keep that party going, that animosity that might have built up before the fight, but he didn't. He had every right to tell Conor McGregor some shit, anything, but he didn't. He let the man have his dignity, and that's why it's important. Like in recent days or whatever, we see the Errol Spence press conference for his fight. We've seen when Amir Khan fought, the interview that Bud fought. That's why I said too, based on their performance, attitude, reflecting leadership, I'm not gonna poke the bear. I don't negate nothing I've said and what I believe, but I'm not gonna poke the bear. It's not gonna make me buy Errol Spence and Uga's fight, because it was not about Errol Spence why I decided to stop buying PBC fights. And he just collateral damage. Just like Heath Thurman, love the guy to death. I'm still a fan. I didn't buy his fight neither, and I would have. Before there was an Earl or Bud in 147, it was all about Keith. During Mayweather's reign, and Mayweather was my favorite. So 147 to me is like, I love that division. I want y'all to, take care of it, these guys, and all, they get in there and do the damn thing. I'm starting to love the 154 division. I love the middleweight. So like from 147 to about 168, that's my wheelhouse right there. That's my favorite. And I know that DJ always tell me that the MMA or the UFC fighters, they what we would call a welterweight might carry a lot more weight or something like the weight difference. There's a weight difference in what they call welterweights versus what we would call a welterweight or super middleweight or junior middleweight, whatever. But Usman, the dude got me hyped. I hope he got y'all hyped. I'm gonna push that and push it and push it and push it until I hear that Canelo has signed the contract to fight Triple G, which he's intending to do in the fall. Um, so like I asked y'all, what y'all think? I put the link in the chat. Usman wants the September date though. He wants it with Nello. And I like that little nickname they giving him, Nello. I would say this, like I said, I would be very interested in that fight, especially since I think Canelo, like, moves strange in the boxing streets, and that's about him being strategic about his opponents, picking people we don't know or ever heard of. I'm not gonna call those guys tomato cans because they get in that ring. But Canelo is very strategic in his picking of opponents, and he, to me, avoids the people that keep clamoring. They want him, and it's within his wheelhouse to face them, and he doesn't. So, for me, it comes off as a duck. Some others may not see it that way, and that's okay. Um, I would tell you this Usman fight between Canelo and him, and I'm saying it like it's a done deal. That's how I'm gonna speak it, believe it. What is it? Receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Oh, that's a mouthful. I'd rather Usman and Canelo than Macaboo all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I'd rather. I'd rather Kamaru, Usman, and Canelo. Bivol is a good fight, but I gotta say, there's a lot with that too. Maybe Triple G in September, like if Canelo have his way. I don't know that people want to see that though. I really don't think they do. Bivol ain't even sure is a sure thing with Canelo because the sanctionings that's coming before Russia on all aspects of life and disciplines. Bivol might not even get to to make it to that fight, and they may let him slip the crack. That might be his last hurrah. Because we don't. If this war that they got going on, it is affecting boxing because they have a lot of champions and have a lot of good fighters that come out of both those nations. If this war goes on for a long time, we don't know if we'll ever see these guys again. Can't even put that much stock into them. So Bivol got to fight like it's his last fight he ever gonna have on earth, and that may make a difference in him and Canelo meeting up. Birdman is in the building. What's poppin'? King says, salute Miss T, Queen. Salute to you. So Bivol, I don't know. Do that change the odds for some people? Because he got to fight this fight like it may be his last. He may be shelved, and he might not even have to go back to Russia. Because I have yet to hear anything. If y'all know, let me know. But I've yet to hear anybody say that Russia is doing a recall on their men in the country. And they got so many fucking people. They don't really need to. Are they recalling all their sports people or whatever? But I mean, they gonna get banned if they got World Cup matches or like just sports in general. They're not gonna be able to participate in all that other shit. The ban is coming. It's coming swift and hard on Russia. Why? Because nobody agrees what he's doing, and he did, and I came back and apologized because I talked about something I heard that a lot of Ukrainians is into that neo-Nazi shit. They got a lot of neo-Nazi people on their border, but it turned out that it was propaganda pushed out originally by Fox News, but once Fox put it out there, it takes flight. But pushed out and pushed out and pushed out as a way for Putin to legitimize the shit he's doing. Because who can't get behind anybody's trying to stop out Nazis. You can't get behind that. But it's none of that shit is true. And I was told that Ukraine actually got a Jewish president, prime minister, whatever they call it. You can't get no more. You know that bullshit can't get no more ferret out than that. Birdman said Miss T. Spence said his bad on the 60-40. He said his ego got the best of him, and he shouldn't have did it behind closed. He should have done it behind closed doors. He said that his fault. Better show my favorites some love. Well, Birdman, look, this is what I got. I got an answer for that. You like to hear? Here you go. You had to be here the other day because I certainly gave your dude some love. I did, and I don't mind saying it. I actually said, I think I said something to this effect, like, now that's Spence I like. I actually, I don't want to rehash it because I talked about the nuggets that I gained. I spoke the facts, but I also said it makes it more believable. In other words, I'm paraphrasing, that Crawford and him actually had talks behind the scenes. Remember, when Crawford did his interview, everybody who don't like Crawford was very critical. And they wasn't nice, not all the way. They wasn't as critical, but they wasn't nice. You know, when I saw the interview, I said, Crawford being a diplomat, because he seemed like he backing off of what he know to be true, but he being diplomatic. And then I hear, I think Earl and Ugas came out and said something. I said, wow, everybody's being diplomatic. And then this press conference come, and Earl is being very diplomatic. He's watching what he say. So Birdman, he probably was, I'm not going to take full credit, but I know all along I was saying shit like, I don't want to know your business. Do it behind closed doors. Like, why the fuck we got to know? We ain't getting the cut. I've been saying, y'all know I've been saying it since like last year. Y'all know I even advocated for the dude to wait a complete year and that his belt shouldn't be in jeopardy. All kind of shit. I was as fair as I could be. You know, but he did say what you just said. You pretty much paraphrasing, but he basically said exactly what you said. You know, I'm gonna take blame because when you listen to Crawford and you listen to him, that's exactly what they're saying. It's almost like they taking ownership. And I swear I can't pinpoint it, but Smith said something like, you know, like he was concerned about how the discontent between the two fans is getting like, it's just getting out of hand. He didn't say those words, but I gleaned that from what he was saying. He did we did talk about the fact that he won't say Crawford name. But you know who was on here repping Spence? ATL. So we did the boy some justice. He said, damn, hell gonna freeze over. I always miss the good shit. Yesterday, not. I didn't have much to say. I wasn't even feeling that great. But the day before yesterday, that's a show you might want to go check out. They got so much respect for each other. You already know it's going to be the fight of the year. Yeah. You know, this thing, look, everything he said is going to be marked. And everything Crawford said is going to be marked. So when the Fugazi shit start happening, we're going to all be able to go back and point to these different things that they say and poke holes in and really critique them harshly. Either one. We're going to really critique them harshly. Like, I'm going to say this. I could have poked the bear, and I don't blame people who do. I could poke the bear and say, you know what, you can't say Crawford's name. Are you saying two different things? You said, I want undisputed. Look at my shirt, it's strap season. But then when a reporter asks you specifically and actually names Crawford, you said, we'll see. I don't know, we'll see. What the fuck you mean you don't know, we'll see? But I'm not going to poke the bear. I don't need to poke the bear. Overall, he was trying to be diplomatic, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, Birdman. And I said, before we start talking about that whole situation, I said, it's not going to move the needle one bit for me. Everything I've said, everything I felt, I still feel the same, and I expect Smith fans feel the same. What I'm gonna do is try to be respectful. I'm gonna try to be. I'm not gonna poke the bear. But if Spence don't make a beeline to Crawford, and in my opinion, if you're the A side, and y'all have heard me say, I Spence, you the A side. You got more hardware. Then you're gonna have to carry yourself like an A side young man. You're gonna have to. That means you gotta send the contract. You gotta initiate shit. You gotta put up the money. You gotta do all that. You are the A side. And then whatever negotiation y'all have, keep that shit behind closed doors. Don't tell the public shit. Because then that way y'all got wiggle room. And y'all can work out kinks. Because if both of y'all not scared to face each other, that's half the battle. It's harder when you got one fighter scared to face the other fighter. Both of them might not be in that type of predicament. I don't know. I can definitely say 100% Bud ain't. I'm sorry, bro. I can definitely say that. I'm going to just say, I don't know. I'm not poking no bears and all that. And I'm not buying no Spence and Ugas fight because they could be being sincere and all that because I think Spence realized as well, and Ugas, because he was also diplomatic. Ugas called out Terrence by name. He referred to them three as the top tier fighters. He gave the respect through that press conference all the time. He just kept saying, we're both two of the three. You know what I'm saying? They were all on this same page miraculously. The stars lined up, Birdman. But in the end of the day, whoever the winner is, if they do not make a beeline to Crawford, the gloves is off. How would you understand that? But let me get back. I don't know if you've been listening. That's why Usman has posed a challenge to Canelo. And I was just going through the pros, cons, or the ups and downs about this whole thing. Now we know that Bivol, that's actually a good fight. I can't call it, really. Canelo is great from the waist up. Excuse me. I don't know if Bivol is not that fast on his feet neither. Bivol and Bertabiev, they're not fast on their feet, but all three of them like some force to be reckoned with. We just gonna have to see how that turns out. If Canelo picked them, I'm sure in Canelo mind he knows he can beat them. Because at this point, I don't believe that Canelo picked people that he don't know. I think he knows. However, anybody want to take that, maybe they'll say, well, he's just that confident. That's possible. But I don't see it like that. I just see it like he knows the leverage he have on the fighter, the fighter next to whatever. He just knows. So Bivol, because I think Canelo actually has said one time, sorry y'all, that he know he can wipe out that whole 175 division. He probably could. Smith is not gonna go along quietly into the night with Canelo. He ain't gonna give him no opportunity. He ain't with the Canelo train. Bivol's like, fuck it. And let me tell y'all, the country is in an uproar. Russian fighters are not gonna have the red carpet rolled out to them. They're gonna have to go through some shit. They're gonna have to be on their best humble performance. It's got to be Oscar winning because a lot of people slapping these sanctions. They don't give a fuck about some of these Russian fights. They don't care. They're gonna lump you in with your country, and you know what? So don't come in the ring with the motherfucking Russian belt. I mean Russian flags and shit. And I'm not telling you not to be proud of your country. It's just not gonna work for you because the whole world see that you're wrong. They see that your country is acting in bad faith, and so they're not gonna roll with you. They're not gonna be interested in rolling with you because you can change the whole dynamics in that whole area if Russia get their way. And of course they're not gonna be with it because I think the Ukraine serves as a democracy and Russia is not. I don't know what Putin gonna do, but a lot of his money about to be tied up. Now, years from now, when a president give him back his money, just like Barack gave Iran back their money, and Trump and the boys and everybody's like, you giving niggas money? No. Whatever that money that Barack gave back was sanctioned and held over previously. And all he did was when the sanctions and all that was lifted over, he gave them back that shit. A lot of people don't understand, like in your country, if this is your country, you can nationalize your country. You can do it across the board. You can do it very strategic and specific. People does it all the time. You got to think about that. Like when you go do business in other people's country, that is a mitigating factor that you have to wonder about. Because if that country decides to nationalize all your stuff, all your assets, all of that shit is gone if they want to be like that. But when you're a powerhouse like the US and we thinking about the future as well as the current situation, we can't always live in contemporary times. We got to look forward. So when we thinking on those terms, what do? We don't try to be grimy because that shit, whole wars can be started like that. You don't know what the country needs. You might need something. You might need a base in some strategic place, but you done fucked this country over 20 years prior. I mean, quid pro quo. And America does it better than anybody. So when Barack gave that money back to Iran, it was their money anyway. But you let Fox News tell it. They lie to you straight to your face. Republicans too, they just lie to you straight to your face. Y'all lap it up and eat it up. And so I'm turning over a new leaf. If you like it, I love it. Because it don't matter who they put over there in the White House, I'm getting mine. They don't move, no neither. I will have medical. Some people are like a medical bill away from being homeless. That's real talk. Republicans tell you they don't want you to have health care. That's real talk. And it's millions of you, like 30 million of you, with health care now, thanks to Obamacare. You know, like allergy season coming up right now. Some of you can't even go to the doctor just to get some allergy pills, but you need it. I mean, how would anybody feel like if they or a loved one died over something that's highly curable? Remember when they ran up the I don't know, I'm getting off in a tangent. Story time. Remember when they ran up the price on the EpiPen? Some people need that to survive or to live. But you know, deregulations, I don't know, sound good when Republicans say that. Deregulate. Yeah, that led to that. You know, the dude get deregulated. He makes this is all a ploy to help them make their money. They only care about elite folks. I'm talking Republican. For me, when I vote for the common person. You know what I'm saying? That's all I do. I vote for the common person because it doesn't matter. I need y'all to know that. It don't matter who you put in the White House. Miss T gonna do good regardless. This year makes 10 years Miss T is retired from the military. I'm expecting a huge ass check this summer. I forgot about the shit, but somebody was telling me, girl, you better watch your pay. Come on, July 1st. I'm going to have medical. I don't care if y'all do find Waldo. I have no caps. My kids got medical out the wazoo. Dental and eye care. No matter who you put in, Republican, Independent, Democrat. Doesn't matter. It don't matter. And I get a raise every year. A big one every 10. By the time I'm 62, because I saw the pay chart before I retired, my retirement is going to be thousands. It's going to be up there. And even I said, wait a minute, that? It's to the point, like, I don't even know if I'm going to have Social Security, to be honest. And Social Security, just to be clear, is not a social program. You pay into it. That negates it being social. So, Social Security, you pay into that shit. You get it. I see you, DJ. I got, this Usman and Canelo, DJ. This Usman and Canelo got me hyped. I know you got some words for it. But look, so you pay into it, right? But they've been robbing, who is they? Republicans. It's a fact. They've been robbing the post office for decades. They've been robbing Social Security. And just think, you put that money in there, and they might not be there. Like young people that's 20-something years old and 30, what you think you're paying into? You paying a lot of money into Social Security. You'll never see it. Because I may not even see it. But the way my shit set up, it wouldn't matter if I see it or not. I'm good. I'm good. I'll be good then too. So my new leaf is if y'all like it, I love it. When you follow these people that be telling y'all not to vote for people that got your best interest at heart, like, oh, I hate the Democrat because they don't do nothing. Okay, go ahead and vote for Republicans, and make sure you ask that person, what you gonna do for my medical? Can I count on you to pay my medical? Are you gonna do? Ask them, do they got an answer? Because right now, the Democratic answer was Obamacare. We got it on paper. I said we got it like I'm a part of them, but they got it on paper. That's the biggest worry I have because medical ain't no joke. Like I said, I'm gonna get off my my politics still. I can go all day. I still do not watch. I still do not. I take my breaks still. But y'all know, like y'all know y'all girl. I can get into it. I just choose not to. I don't want to fight with nobody or whatever. If you like it, I love it. Miss T good. I got everything I need. I'm living okay. I ain't the richest person. I ain't even worked and haven't worked since 2012. But yet I live in a 3,000 square foot home. I got 2 brand new cars. I go where the fuck I want to go, when I want to go. So when I tell y'all Miss T gonna be good, Miss T gonna be good. I ain't the richest person. By no means. I can't hang with the big dogs. I tell you that straight up. But I ain't missing out on nothing. When my daughter needs medical care, she gets it immediately. Immediately. When she needs dental, eyeglass care, whatever, immediately. There ain't no him and hawing. Immediately. Me too. DJ says, salute Miss T. Birdman's like, at DJ, my Bama brother, salute King. Birdman said Canelo will knock him out, I think. I don't know. Usman seen the things differently. Y'all, thank y'all for being with me on my little rant. I apologize, but sometimes, shit be going on. I just gotta say whatever. It is allergy season. If you can afford it, get you a doctor's appointment and get not over the counter, but prescribed. It's gonna feel a lot better. We gotta do what is necessary to stay healthy, because this environment and this food the stuff they put in the food and just everything, you getting hit from all sides, that can lead to your demise. And we don't need to do that. When there's preventative things we can do, take your allergy medicine, y'all. If you can't go to the doctor or afford an actual prescription, get it over the counter. I always rep Zyrtec. They don't pay me nothing, but I rep them because I just feel like they're the cat daddy of all the allergy medicine. But I'm on mine. But the pollen is out there. It's hot. Hey DJ Birdman, it's hot, right? It's hot now. I had on shorts the other day. DJ said Dana White already told Usman that ain't happening. Why? But hey, he let Conor fight Floyd. Come on, can Dana stop that shit? If the fans want it, why would Dana? Oh, I'm gonna have a bone to pick with Dana. Dana getting on my nerves already, DJ. Already, I don't like this dude. Already. At Birdman, it's not fair. It's not a fair fight. Of course he will. Look, that man Usman feel like he can do it, and I'm waiting for the day for one of them UFC or Bellator or somebody to come up and actually win a fight against a boxer. I said earlier before y'all came in that if you did a poll on who could win, is which one is harder, boxer or UFC, MMA, Bellator type stuff, I was gonna say box. I used to always say without a shadow of a doubt boxing, but and I said why? Because it's innate to stand up on your feet and throw your hands. It's only when you start getting tired and wrestling, you revert to all of that stuff. I always just thought it was harder to be a boxer than it is a UFC fighter, but I've changed. I'm a woman of a particular age. I can change my mind, and so now I'm gonna say it's equally hard because both of them are combat sports. But I will edge out boxing every time. I personally think Canelo gonna wipe the floor with him. However, this man's belief And the shit that I've heard, spoken about him, I don't even know this man. I've never seen him fight. But DJ, you talk about him in a good way. You're not the only one. I was like, and the dude in the article, he sounded like he just know what he know. Run it. What's the problem? Yo, Canelo, what are you doing? We know you like the money. Ain't nobody asked you for Triple G. I'm with you on the Bivol. But the other two you mentioned, fucking Triple G and probably December Macaboo, think about it. He gonna fight Triple G, but he just knows he gonna beat Triple G. But he know that it's not gonna be like the easiest of fights. And look at the quick turnaround in December. He gonna come back and fight Macaboo. So the storyline is gonna be what's on paper. He fight Bivol, and then months later he fights Triple G. And then after that, he go fight Macaboo. Fucking young ass 20, 21, 22 year olds ain't even fighting that much in one calendar year. So it's making Canelo look like the bomb.com. And real talk, Canelo could have had a fight in January with whoever. Somebody we don't know and we ain't asked for. But he doing that, and he making all this fucking money off of doing that. And think, dude, I gotta give the dude props. And y'all know I don't like Canelo. He signed a 3-fight deal. The motherfucker. The stars are lining up for him. He gonna fight 3 times, and his deal is done. That means he's on the hook for a year. It ain't no dragging it out. It ain't no, you ain't got time to be like, man, I hate this nigga. I hate working for this person or that person. They doing this and doing that. One and done. By the end of this year, his contract is up. $168 million. Nigga smart. Birdman said facts at DJ, because if Canelo got in the cage, Usman would murder him. Miss T tells Cinnamon to come over to MMA where they can use all of their weapons. He ain't gonna do it, DJ. I wouldn't even advise him like that. I might not like I might not like Nello and them, and I might not like Nello, but I like boxing too much. I'm like, don't go over there unless y'all ready for some shit like that. And maybe you'll see people, like, because they do strikes, fighting is fighting. Like I said, it's innate for any human to stand on their feet and put them hands up. That's just an innate response. What make you go to the ground and do all that extra shit? You're out of shape. You're not conditioned. You're tired. You're looking for leverage. Because the average person, and I'm talking about a young, healthy, young male. Let's pick somebody like 22 years old, young and healthy. Ain't much body fat on them, or none of that. They had no medical scares and none of that shit. He probably got on average 25 seconds to stand on his feet and throw his hands full. He dead tired. If he had to do that shit for a minute, he probably can make another minute. Real talk. I'm talking people who've never been in boxing and did that shit. Ain't talking about nobody who's learned the tricks of the trade and studied it a little bit. I'm talking about a regular person off the street. Can't do it. They don't even hold their hands right. They don't even stand right. And I'm talking dudes that be beating much ass in the street. Easy to beat. I ain't gonna say it now at the age I am now, but probably like 5 or 6 years ago, I could beat probably any little young 18-year-old or something like that just, in school. I'm talking like 16, 17. I felt like I could beat them. And when I was, coaching in the gym and they come in because their parents be like, he always fighting. We need to do something different. Man, shit, I can smack the shit out of him easy. If we just was fighting two boxing rules, I believe wholeheartedly I could beat him. I've showed it when I worked with them and was training them. But if they want to get jiggy with the shit, of course, they probably wax my ass. I'm an old lady. Just standing up, throwing them hands, and the way they be holding themselves, I'll break the fingers first. That's the first shit I'm going to do. And I learned that through karate. You don't even hold your hands right, young man. Kept telling him. So I popped him in his fucking hands. He didn't come back the next day. His hands was hurting. That little pad like this. I pop his ass in his hand. Think about this. If you ever play Tonk, like card games or whatever, and we used to play Merciless. We used to have no mercy. We used to play Tonk. And if we win with, I guess, the amount that you was left holding or whatever, that's how many times you get hit. You make you ball your fucking fists up. And those two protruding knuckles, we grab them cards and hold them just right. And wow, bring that bitch from Mississippi. Wow. We used to do that shit. And I'm telling you, what you didn't want to hold is more than 5. Because even after 5, you done. Can't even move your hands around. So can you imagine trying to box and you don't ball your hands up right? I'm gonna break your fingers. And I'm gonna do it on purpose. I'm thinking I don't always break them, but I'm gonna hurt them. I do that shit on purpose. Birdman, no Miss T, got to think Usman is grounded and stand up. Ground and kicks, but Canelo is an expert with hands. Yeah, but all of them can strike. Usman, he may not make the transition good, as DJ was talking about with the weight and everything. They even though Usman might be in Canelo's wheelhouse as far as weight, like their welterweight weight is different from boxers' welterweight. So I don't know how that all can work. It might not work to his favor because you remember. Do y'all think Willie would have did better against Jake Paul had they been in the cage? I don't know. Willie seemed too heavy. He couldn't move around. DJ said the difference is Conor was a striker. Usman is a wrestler by trade. Okay. I feel you. Yo, he is in a building. What's popping, Queen? Hello, Miss T. How are you? I'm good. Just talking about this fight. But DJ and Birdman, I really want to see the fight. I'm hyped. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm hyped. And I've never seen Usman fight. But how this man was talking, Miss T is on board. T got to see this. I do not want to see Triple G. You won, Canelo. Canelo, you had that. I get you. I wouldn't even speak on no disputes. I don't want to see no goddamn Triple G. Do y'all do? And I damn show, for sure, don't want to see no Macabu. Don't want to see that. Y'all hit that like and share button when you come in and leave some comments, especially on the replay. Because like I said, I feed off the feedback. Let a sister know. Like and share when you step into the square circle. Come on. Stop all this reckless eyeballing. But Usman really feel he can do it. And Usman said, I know it's about the payday. Hell, we all want a payday. And I'm saying to all of us as boxing fans, whenever you hear a fighter start coming up with the basic excuses, just say, why are you making excuses? That should be your retort. Why are you making excuses? This fighter, he's not exciting. He's boring. He's not a draw. Why are you making excuses? You sound like it to me. Humming. You making excuses. You want the payday. You want the payday. Why are you making excuses? Canelo, name me the fighter who don't want a payday. I'll wait. Name me the one fighter that don't want a payday. It's called prize fighting. And as I said, he should wear that. Canelo, real talk. Y'all know how I feel about this dude, but there's a lot of good things about him. Real talk, Canelo should wear his position in boxing right now like a badge of honor. I mean, he should. Anytime you as a person can change a person's life remarkably on a higher level, you should wear that as a badge of honor. Anybody who steps in the ring with Canelo will become an instant millionaire if they aren't already. That's a fact. That is a straight up fact. Just like with Floyd. If Canelo wasn't a millionaire before he fought Floyd, I think he was slightly small. When he fought Floyd, he became an instant millionaire. If he never did shit else from that day forward, And Canelo wasn't even on the level to me as Shane Mosley or some of Floyd other opponents, like as far as accomplishments accomplishments and accolades. Canelo was on the level, in my opinion, y'all. I mean, he did a couple of good things. He had a couple of good fights, but he was on that same level as Maidana walking in with Floyd. And you look how Maidana been living. He didn't blew up like a motherfucker, looking like a Latino version of Elvis Presley and shit, blowed up like crazy. And now he lost weight. Once you once you take it that far, you ain't never gonna be the same. And so then he, of course, he's supposed to had a fight recently, but El Chino Madonna, all this bullcrap. He didn't get paid. I don't think he got paid more than $3 million. If he got extra than that, it was on the back end. That dude took that motherfucking money home and lived his best life like a king. Shot caller and everything. DJ said, T, I believe I have a chance with Jill Scott. That doesn't mean it's true. DJ, you are the second person I know that Jill Scott is the bee's knees for you. Shout out to Jill Scott. Shout out to Jill Scott. You know what I'm saying? The girl can sing. Like Jill Scott, one of the people, look, she put out an album. I don't need to critique it or review it. I'm going to get it. Just like y'all go get my girl Mary J. Blige album. She came out with an album. I ain't even gonna try to listen to it. I already liked the first song I heard on the radio. And when I heard that song, I didn't know she had came out with an album. I said, is that Mary? Looking at the name on the thing. go cop my girl Mary J. Blige video. Record. And we know Mary talk about how she feel and stuff. She's older now, like not an old person, but like I like when she talked about the sad stuff. I just do. To me, her best album was My Life, hands down. Wasn't Share My World. It was My Life and the Mary album. I think it's called Mary. When I tell you, because I thought it was 411, but shit. My Life and not the My Life is the second album, not the third, but the fourth album. Ooh. But Mary talks from her experience. And then she came out with No More Drama, and that was the biggest, if you want to say marketable album she had. It was good. It was my favorite, but it was good. But I can put Mary in and Drive from Coast to Coast. Another artist like SWV, I don't know why I'm breaking from this, it's like story time. SWV is another one. I can put them in and drive all day. They're my girls right there. Those are my girls. And Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, same. You can play that whole album. Even if you don't know the music, but it's like chances of me not knowing all of Mary's album is gonna be slim. I'm going to get it. And nowadays you just don't go get the CD. Like I'm sure I could buy it, but maybe I'll buy one for the car. But I think I have to figure out a different way of listening to my music. Maybe I actually got to go get an MP3. I had one, but I bought a cheap, cheesy one. But maybe I want to put some decent money and get a good one. Or people like use your iPhone, but I don't want to put a whole lot on the phone. I don't like that. Less is better. So and I don't want it mixed up with my phone, But I definitely want to be able to pop her CD in and just be listening. Like, oh, it ain't gonna take me but what, a week or two. I know everything on that motherfucking album. But she got this song called Gorgeous. I love the damn song. So go get your Mary. Go get your Mary straight. Get it in your repertoire. DJ. Miss T, my wife knows how I feel about Jill Scott. I feel you, King. Jill's gay. My boy, activist, he been in here before. That motherfucker love him some Jill Scott. The girl is awesome as hell. You really can't fuck with her voice. I mean, like, goddamn. Like, Jill, like I said, she's one of them artists. I don't need to hear her music. I already know it's going to be good. Birdman said, use iTunes, it's saved in the cloud. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want to inundate my phone with a whole lot of stuff. I ain't one of the people that put a whole lot. And I got a lot of apps, but every app I got on that damn phone I need. And I be wondering, like, don't put too much on it, you know. But back to this Usman. So DJ, are you for the fight? But you and Birdman know that Dana is, what is it? Dana's scared? But Dana think he's not gonna come back to UFC? Is that the problem? Y'all hit that like and share button. What is it? Because Usman, he knew what to say. He already sold the fight, and I'm gonna, as much as I can, advocate for that fight every motherfucking time I get up on TV, on the Tizu, because I'm that hype. I would say Usman got a small chance, even though I ain't giving him a chance to win. But now betting, I'm the type of person that like to bet on the underdog, which pretty much tells y'all I'm not proficient or should be a person who's betting. But when that one time and the stars line up, ooh, those be some big payouts, right? But if I would throw a little bet, I would throw like $100 bet on Usman, and I would make it broad, like for him to win. I wouldn't call no fucking rounds, cause like I said, I think Canelo ain't Floyd, y'all. He not gonna play with this dude. DJ said, but I want to see these boxers come over to MMA and compete in real fights, where if you get dropped, somebody doesn't have to let you stand up. DJ, now you know goddamn well that ain't gonna happen. I don't know what you trying to do. I'm not gonna be on the DJ train with that one. No, and some more no. No, no, DJ. We can't do that shit because they ain't never trained like that. Like everybody has trained to stand on their feet and throw their hands. They have never. I don't think they train that way. Nah, DJ. Nope. You trying to set somebody up. They'll never be the same. They'll never, their little ego and pride be hurt. They'll never be the same. And guess what? If boxers did that, and there's some boxers who do that, I can't remember all of them. You guys would know whether they were successful or not at it. But any boxer, I would think that get in that cage, I'm almost positive that UFC fighter gonna go for broke, trying to literally go for broke, like try to hurt them instantly and fast. But nah, DJ, I don't think no boxer should come over there to the cage. Plus, you gonna make the most money doing it on the boxing side. A lot of boxing fans, I don't think is gonna run over there to that. I could be wrong. He's trying to set some folks up. Y'all crazy, y'all. But I mean, I can't talk about it enough. I'm gonna be like Canelo, Usman. I gotta think of a phrase that I can say, DJ, every day, and Birdman, that I can say every day that's kind of advocating for the Usman versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Usman. As I said, real talk, I think Canelo will win. But real talk is gonna make money, and Usman said that. You looking for the payday. I get it. He said, you gonna get it. He said they stand to make 9 figures. I agree. That's what Usman said. He said, but I know I will whip you, and this ain't got nothing to do with the money. He said, is you can get mad at folks who say you overconfident. That's what you have to be overconfident to be in this type of combat sport. Any combat sport, you have to be overconfident. You can't go in there pussyfooting around and wavering. That ain't gonna be good for you. Because you do what you practice. And if you pussyfooting around and you're scared, you're gonna practice scared. So that ain't gonna end well for you. So I don't know. Y'all advocate for that. When y'all out there and about, y'all advocate for that. Birdman said, I think Boo Boo would do well since he likes wrestling. Do he? I didn't know that he liked wrestling. Oh. And me and DJ gonna tell you every day that shit ain't gonna happen. Y'all never know. Such naysayers, such naysayers. You never know. Stranger things have happened. I know damn well. Ask. Sorry to screaming out for a second. But do y'all really want to see another Triple D fight? I don't. I don't want to see it at all. But Usman saying this, he didn't got me hyped. And here's another thing. I don't know if y'all caught it earlier, DJ and Birdman. Y'all know how I don't buy no Canelo fights. And I don't know Usman. I've never seen him fight. Don't know enough about him. Don't need to know. I got a picture. Picture say 1,000 words. So I'm saying I will buy this fight. If it's $100, I'll buy it. If it's $110, I'll buy it. That's how hype I am. Usman said the right things. I think he can move the needle. You know, hey Canelo, payday, payday, payday. DJ said, Miss T, I don't like any MMA fighter going over to boxing because they are taking away half the other guy's weapon. It really isn't a fair fight. I mean, don't come over there haphazardly. You know, I get you with that. I understand what you're saying, but I do still too feel that if they got time enough to train properly, because again, I'm just looking at the innate qualities of human beings. You fight standing up. That's the first thing. That's your first instinct. You know, again, a lot of people don't realize if you don't train in the combat sports and shit, you it takes seconds. And I don't even know enough about MMA or UFC to tell you how many seconds it would take for you to be beyond your scope if you was just a young, healthy person and you first try to do that shit. It might be even less time. You know what I'm saying? But you got about, I know in boxing, you got about 25 seconds for your ass. And if you made it through a minute, they 3-minute rounds, so that second minute, you're going to be like damn near delirious. And when you're tired like that, that's how you get your ass tore out the frame. So I don't know the equivalent for, UFC. Maybe the guys could tell me what the equivalent of what I just said for them. Like, how long you gonna put up with that shit before you like and run the risk of seriously getting hurt? He just said because we all know Kamaru Usman would kill Cinnamon in a real fight. That's why DJ, you got to go by what he looked. DJ, why the fuck I'm over here? I can hear your voice. He put it all in caps. I know that's right, DJ. You mean that shit. Guess what? We gotta go by what the dudes say. Kamaru say. You know, I'm not saying Miss T say or DJ saying or Birdman say. Kamaru say. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Kamara. Usman, Mr. Usman said he put hands and feet on his ass. Birdman said facts, goddamn it, facts. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Usman said he gonna put hands and feet. And Mr. Usman said he know it's going down. It's going down just like that. So I'm gonna follow what the man said. He Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. Motherfucker said he got Canelo. I want to see it. That would probably be the most exciting fighter that Canelo faced this year. But again, business-wise, I'm gonna give it up to Canelo. Y'all know I'm being so unbiased. This motherfucker signed a 3-fight deal that ends at the end of this year. Ain't that some shit? Ain't no lingering. One and motherfucking done. 168 million. Shout outs to Nello and them. Birdman said Usman will bounce him on his head and turn out his lights Bama style. I believe you guys. I believe, but hey, From our lips to God's ear, to the men who are in control of this shit. Let this shit happen. I'll tell you this. That 168 will probably turn into damn near 300 million for Canelo. The interest that will be sparked for this fight. Canelo, Cinnamon. Cinnamon, I'm sending you a 4-page letter. And I'm sealing it with facts. Bivol, we understand to a certain extent. But then we all know that shit can fall through. Because, you got the war and the sanctions that's coming upon all Russians, whether you got something to do with it or not. And people can squabble or quiver about what's fair or not. I don't even give a fuck about none of them, to be honest. But because this war is going on and Russia is acting in bad faith, that whole country gonna catch it. That means some of these Russian boxers are not gonna get a license. Bivol, if you are able to fight, it's only because you fighting Canelo. Had you been fighting anybody else, you would probably be sanctioned too. And after that fight, if Canelo beats you, you're done. So that what makes Canelo and Bivol's fight even more special, because Bivol has to fight that like it's the last fight he will ever get. Because as long as that war going on, ain't nobody gonna be checking for you, dog. Ain't nobody gonna be pressed for you or nothing. Nobody gonna be lining no shit up, because you're gonna be unreliable. Not just because of yourself, but because they don't know. It's day by day how they feel they want to get at Putin. I mean, a year from now, they could be like revoking visas for all Russians in every country. You just don't know. You cannot put stock in that shit. And everybody know that. So when you get up in there, Bivol, you better fight like it's your last meal, last everything. And just that makes it a factor going forward. Queen Yogi said, I knew MJ was next. Laughed my butt off. He knew MJ was next. Yeah, so Bivol makes me think that fight would be more than what I originally thought it would be. After that, Canelo, I don't give a fuck about none of your opponents. None. And eventually, Canelo, they're going to catch on to you. You don't make money like you claim. For whatever reason, you're the hot ticket item because they feel like you're more marketable. But it's all smoke and mirrors. You have the complexion for the protection. And as long as you know that, I'm not mad if you like using your leverage in life that you have. I'm mad when you try to act like you dumb to it, or you try to use it in a negative way. Like, if somebody gonna give you something because you come in the perfect shell that's more appeasing to that eye, then who cares? I ain't hating on that. But if you gonna start acting like it's got to be that way, that's how you address me, like I'm a diva or something. Nah, that's when you gonna tear your drawers with a lot of folks, including me. Canelo already tore his drawers with me with the cheating, with the clenbuterol and all that. So is he just walking around and holding drawers as far as I'm concerned? But come the fall, nobody want who the fuck care about Triple G? And I know if y'all don't care about Triple G, you damn sure don't care about Macaboo. Scooby-Doo, Macaboo, whatever he is. You don't look at Scooby-Doo like, oh, he's 20, 21, 22, 25. No, Scooby-Doo old as a bitch. Scooby-Doo is middle age. And I know even for me, that's not old. Who wouldn't want to go back to being 35 or something? But in boxing, that's old. So Scooby-Doo, listen, we already know ain't nothing gonna come to that. Canelo gonna wipe it. It's not even, I mean, shit, you gonna have to get them tickets away. So what better way than to scratch them two motherfuckers out? You gonna easily win against Usman, according to most boxing critics or whatever. You gonna wipe him easily. Shit, you might make 9 figures in the process. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's be positive, DJ and Birdman. But let me move on because, Usman, I don't know you, but I know you. Back then, how I go then? I almost messed it up. Back then, You ain't know me. Now I'm hiding up. You all on me. I don't know. I probably messed that whole thing up. Back then you didn't know me. Now I'm hiding up. You all on me. Try to do my rendition of that Mike Jones. Usman. Mike Jones. Birdman knew I was talking about Mike Jones. Exactamundo. And then the WBO approves. Let's move on. Moving on. Anywho, WBO approves Castano and Charlo 2 fight for May 14th. How exciting. Now, I read y'all March's schedule. It's not that big. Tonight on ESPN2, for those of y'all who came in late, you know, you got the Ramirez and the Pedraza. I'm going to go back and watch that fight. But we all know how that damn app is so fugazi. It's just, you know, you might find a nugget or two on that undercard. But I'm going to tell you the zone fight. I got news on that one too. So let me get through this one. The Castano and Charlo 2 for May 14th. Now, due to the controversy, you know, because Castano had backed out, claiming he had an injury, and the injury he claimed was a broken bicep or something like that. But if y'all think about it, what? Didn't that, not that it has anything to do with it, but it's relevant to a little bit. And then we just have a broken bicep. Then when he had his hand up, he actually did fell down. But he still fought Pacquiao, and he never said shit. And I told Birdman, this is a show I'm telling you to go watch 2 days ago, where I gave your boy Spence some love. Spence said or confirmed for me that Ugas had that broken bicep, because Ugas never said. And some people will say, well, that don't matter, but it does matter, because it adds to the character and mystique of Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis felt like he couldn't say it, because no matter how he said it, it would have came off wimpy. Like when I be talking about, oh, I got my allergies, I got this. Some people can be like, girl, you is always sick. Yo, wimpy ass. Don't let it fool you now. Stay away from the wine bottles. I ain't that wimpy. But you know what y'all know what I mean. You know what I mean. Ugas didn't want to be no crybaby. You know that bravado. Captain Caveman. A bunga. That's Usman. I mean, your name is Ugas. But Spence was like, shit, he a tough competitor. He was learning. Spence is learning some OJT. Don't put down your opponent right there before the fight. You gotta make people want to come see it. Even if you know you can beat this motherfucker, put hands and feet, you wanna make it seem like, dude, we got a chance. And then when you do it, it just makes it look even better. And then don't take away his dignity in the end. Take a note out of Floyd Mayweather's page book. But Castano backed out the fight. And of course, Charlo feel like maybe he's trying to cycle off. Y'all know what I mean by cycling off. And I don't think Charlo was stretching that. I think that's possible. But Charlo been asking for proof. And see, that's good pressure. Because now the WBO said, look, y'all better do this fight May 14th. I don't give a care how it don't go down. If it don't go down, this WBO belt is gonna be considered vacant. I don't care if either one of y'all find Waldo. Y'all better make sure y'all show up to the fight on May 14th. That's what the WBO is saying now. And I read this, I thought of Bud instantly. So a lot of people felt like Bud should just go ahead on and move up right now. And I understand it's all genuine thinking on their part. DJ said Charlo believes he's cycling out the past. Exactamundo. I believe so too. Because again, that fight I asked Charlo, and y'all know, here's another guy I'm not that fond of, the Charlos. I'm not. In fact, I don't do coons, but I will never negate and act like they ain't who they are in that ring, especially Jamel. So Jamel feel like he was cycling off. I believe him. Jamel was like, you gonna need all that and then some to come fuck with me. And I believe him on that too. Y'all know how Jamel is. You know what I'm saying? But, WBO put the pressure on him now. Y'all gonna do this shit regardless. Don't fuck around. Don't come up with no bullshit. Because y'all gonna have to show up. You know what I'm saying? And that's good for us as fans because that means in May we're gonna probably get a decision on who's undisputed at 154. Now think about this: if Bud would have left and moved up right now, and Castano doing his fugazi shit, and that belt become vacant, who's to say Bud is gonna get an opportunity to do what it is he wants? Because it's still gonna be politics. There's other people trying to get at it. You know what I'm saying? Deron Young is in the building with Papa King. He said, "Hey, Miss T, salute, Queen. Salute to you too, King." You know, it's all about timing, and there was no way for any of us to know. Even the people who suggested that Bud move up, there's no way for us to know. It's about, do the stars line up? Is everything, you just gotta be perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad Bud didn't just went on ahead and moved up. I'm glad that Spence, Bud, and even Lucas is being diplomatic about everything and trying to make sure everything go down and leaving us in the dark about shit that ain't our business anyway, which is what they get paid or any negotiation. Just make the fight. You just tell us when and where to show up and we'll be there. That's it. So if Bud would have went up right now and he couldn't, he won't go get the fight with Castano over Jamel. He had to wait. And if Castano, if they had another draw, or whatever the case, or Castano backed out, or maybe even Jamel get hurt, that belt is now vacant. That was WBO saying. They said and I don't think I read it wrong. It doesn't matter if it's Castano or Jamel. Or Jamel. Whoever is the reason why this fight don't go down, that belt is vacant. Can Bud go grab the belt? Yeah. But there's other people in line ahead of Bud for all the other belts. When it's like that, you want one of them to be undisputed, because then Bud got to face that one, and boom, voila. Bud has the potential to become undisputed at welterweight and junior middleweight or super welterweight. He had the ability to be undisputed at 130, 135, and 140. Canelo is showing you that he's trying to be undisputed in several different weight classes. When you can do this, you should do it. You should do it. It's only going to build your legacy and just make people look at you like, wow. The paperwork going to be like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? This is why George Kambosos is holding on to that title so hard, or those titles so hard, because the minute he get in the square circle, that shit is gone. And the paperwork will say he held the belts for 3 months. And everybody gonna be like, oh shit, that nigga had a good night. He came up on some lucking. Or the other fighter had a terrible night. That's the only thing that happened. So timing is everything. It's everything is very important. If Charlo, like I said, if Charlo backs out, Castano has to immediately face Tszyu. That's another factor. So if something happened where Charlo backs out, that's another way you could go at it, other than making that fight vacant. I think maybe more so it'll go vacant if it's Castano fault, but it could go vacant if either one of them are at fault. But they will consider, WBO that is, a fight with Tszyu or Gasha, for the WBO belt. And let me see. And their fight was originally March 19th. Yeah, so that's a couple of weeks from now. That was originally for. And again, just so to refresh, Castano claimed a broken bicep injury. Sound like BS to us. Sound like BS to Charlo, and that's who matters. And keep in mind that Ugas had the same problem. He never said nothing. And he went on to secure a fight against one of the best motherfucking people that ever do it, and Manny Pacquiao. Now, Castano said, oh, that'll be good in April. If your fight was March, You mean to tell me it take a month? Have y'all ever had domes? Sorry, have y'all ever experienced domes, delayed onset muscle soreness? That's soreness. But it comes because you rip in lifting weights. You try to rip your muscle into little microscopic tears, and just to fix them, you have to your muscle will pull from fat all around your body equally. That's why people lose weight when they lift weights. If you do it a certain kind of way, if you lift weights to failure, you can just straight cardio. It's just as good as you running. But rebuild the muscle takes fat that you have in your body. And when I tell you sewing, this ain't the word. They might as well pour a bucket of roaches on you because you're gonna be squirming and trying to get up out your skin and all that. The first time I ever had it, I was like, oh my God, I popped like some high milligram, I don't know if it was Motrin or something. It didn't work. I was so miserable. I was like, never again. But I kept doing it. I kept doing it. But after like a couple of weeks, your body get used to it. It goes to that. You just get used to it. But ooh, I never did sit in a tub of ice. Never did. Yogi in the building with the cash app for $50. Shang a lang a lang. I said a shang a lang a lang. Now I can currently be seen dancing in one of Luke's videos, but I don't take nothing off because I'm a lady. I'm gonna get that video whenever somebody send me a cash app. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Thank you for the cash app. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know. Um, but I'm gonna get back to this. My point with the Castano saying I'll be ready to go in April. So from March 19th to April, you can heal from a bicep. And that's why I brought up the domes, because that that shit is serious. So if your whole muscle is tore or not in place, I can't imagine that something a monk could do. But maybe I can imagine. That's why I'm agreeing with Charlo when he said I think he was cycling out. Because I can imagine you wanting to put an extra couple of weeks in between there to make sure everything good and good on the home front. Birdman said in high school, that's why I practiced throwing the ball first couple of days of practice. That's how you had the domes from that. Yeah, cause y'all be humming that motherfucker. Might as well be a damn football. Um, just to interject before I move on to the next, because I'm gonna talk about this fight that we got coming on the zone. And as I tell y'all, when y'all watch the zone, I would give the zone a couple of things. I know we don't like some of these promoters, but I'm not trying to, big up Eddie Hearn, because I'm not a favor of him. He run this shit like sometimes like he on the plantation. But Eddie Hearn paid his fighters. They become millionaires even right before your eyes, and you don't even know it. Danny Jacobs was getting millions. Who else? Devin Haney, millions. Tevin Farmer was getting a lot. I don't know if it was millions, but probably up there. He paid Demetrius Andre millions. All with Eddie Hearn. So I'm just saying, he can't be too bad. He actually paying his fighters. And then if you go to the zone and you watch any main event card, even if it was like AJ, and I'm not that big of a fan of AJ, I don't hate AJ. I ain't that big of a fan of AJ. Every the zone fight, their undercard be fire. I bullshit you not. It be fire. Even if you don't know the people, you're gonna know them after that. And sometimes it be people. But I swear, I don't know who does the matchmaking. But every undercard on the zone be fire. I can't see that you'll be bored. Berman said baseball. I meant, oh, okay. Yeah, throwing that ball. You gotta put some stank on that. I see baseball, one of them sports you really be have having rotator cuff injuries. My rotator cuff hurt now. Just think about throwing a ball. Look, please like and share as y'all step into the square circle. Hook the sister up. Stop reckless eyeballing. Come on. What y'all need me to show? What y'all need me to take off? You want me to take my shirt? I'm just joking. I am joking. So I'm gonna just say this before I get into the chocolate tea joint them that's coming on the zone tomorrow. I read the time. Let me make sure. That's at 9 p.m. But there's some developing news on that one. On the front. There's some developing news. But I want to say shout out to Rick and I hope you get better. I hope everything is well. Rick and I suffered an eye injury in the kitchen. Of all the dusty Jew junks in the world, you had to walk into mine. He suffered I don't mean to laugh, but he suffered a serious eye injury fucking with a pressure cooker. Ain't that something? Maybe it's God's way of telling him he gonna have to hang it up. And you made some money. We know you the goods. When people talk about you, they don't have to put the speck on your name, even though they shitted on your whole career. Just because you was easier to exclude. You didn't there's things he could have done. He could have learned English by now. And listen, if you can speak another language, Miss T ain't mad at you because I wish that I could speak another language. Especially when I get around some folks. I wish I could break right into a whole motherfucking chant and be like, nobody knows. But these fighters who speak another language, you have to, if you want to sell to Americans, you have to talk to us. And I'm not breaking my ass trying to figure out what you speak. Yeah, I would listen. If you got to be that much better in the ring for me to even give a care. So why don't you just make it easy and speak English? It might not be your strong suit, but walk softly and carry a big stick, I say. You don't have to talk. Canelo, he don't speak it that great, but he can say a few words. He don't know how to talk as it is. He in the zone. He's in the zone. No pun on the word, but he's in INTHE, the zone. ZONE, not the zone. But it's a serious injury from the pressure cooker. And I'm gonna tell you, that's one gadget device that gets no play up in the tea house. Don't get no play. Now, anybody who know me know I'm forever buying a gadget, or whatever kind of device, forever. And the sheer time that it takes to learn the shit, and I don't even know that much. So I can't even say I'm all the way committed. But that's some enjoyable times for me. I've always been like this since I was a kid. Always. You don't come to me with shit that don't do nothing. And don't get me wrong. I like a flower or two here and there. So Valentine's Day, I'm appreciative of a flower. But I also say they're gonna die anyway. All I'm gonna do is put them on the table and they're gonna die. So I'm like, thank you. In fact, I like one or two, like three. Like when people give 3, I like them better than a whole bouquet. Because I'm like, at that point, you're like overkilling. You want to impress me? Get some shit that can do some shit that I ain't never did before. Like you want to impress me? If you give me a doll, baby, let me press a button and they can talk. Let me talk into my phone and be like, I want Ken to say this to Barbie. Go ahead. And Ken just walk up to her and be like, da 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 da. Now I want Barbie to turn around and say this to Ken. Go ahead. Oh, you have my attention all day. But if they're gonna strike a pose, I don't got no imagination for that. I just don't. Give me something that move and do some shit. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep my attention. But I love kitchen gadgets too. What was that one thing I bought? I broke the brakes off that. The new wave oven. Oh my God! If y'all ever had one of those, I'm talking about the real deal, the real one, not the cheesy one, not the cheap one, because you can buy the cheap one in the store, but you can buy the real one in the store too. But some people try to get it cheap. You cannot mess up nothing with a new wave oven. You cannot mess it up. It is full bulletproof. I done bought everything. I got the Emerald Grill right now. George Foreman. I done bought all. Trust me, I'm the gadget person. I done bought them all. But the best to this day was that new wave oven, because you put that dome over top of it, it'll tell you different meats. If it's frozen, cook it this way. If it's not frozen, cook it that way. If it's, they have the plate that is set on inside the plate, put it on top of the plate when it's raised this high. When you can flip the plate, that grill plate around, put it like it looks like an actual grill. But you can flip it over and then it sits lower. Cook your meat on this. Cook this many minutes on this side with this temperature. And that means, I'm telling you, can't mess it up. I was Betty Crocker in this mug one summer because I had everybody kids. I had my nephews, I had my neighbor, I had Karma kids over here. When I tell you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it was going down in T's house. Good eating, good eating. I was cooking everything. It was just an expert. Was sitting up there like, I cook, can't I? So this pressure cooker, that's something I will never buy. There's too many people that have accidents, and they detrimental accidents. They're accidents almost like they can actually die from. If it had just hit them one, when I think of a pressure cooker, I'm thinking something will blow off and pop you in the head. If it had just popped, a little more to the left or right, then it lost a titty or something. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I don't do the pressure cookers. And I don't know what people normally eat out of them things that they gotta buy them. I will never, ever in my life, sorry, pressure cooker or whoever make pressure cookers. It's no play. That's one that it don't serve no purpose up here. Another thing of note, Charles Conway. I don't know if y'all familiar with him. He has signed recently with Pro Bellum. I did a something about Pro Bellum coming into existence last summer. I don't know if I did the video in the summer, but as of, I want to say August, September, Pro Bellum became a thing. It's kind of like a promoting company who guarantees that worldwide they're gonna make sure we see the fights that we want to see. At the head of Pro Bellum is Richard Schaefer. If y'all remember when Golden Boy was the shit, that was Richard Schaefer. In my opinion, Richard Schaefer is a good dude, stand-up dude, and he knows the boxing shit. When Richard Schaefer left, I think it was under some kind of sketchy shit. Not nothing like sketchy like he did something wrong, but sketchy like Oscar being a prick. Richard was like, fuck it, I'm gone. But when he left, Golden Boy did a nosedive. When Golden Boy was the shit and was promoting everything, that was Richard Schaefer at the helm. Because Oscar was in and out of hospitals and damn, what they call them places, you trying to get over shit like drugs or something. He was rehab type places. Richard held that shit down. And now he's holding down Pro Bellum. And people are signing with him. Regis Progress was one of the first to sign with him. But they promised they no bullshit. They putting these fights together. And so this guy named Charles Conway, y'all know him from the Rio Olympics. He promised to be trouble at 154. And I instantly thought of Bud. I'm not saying Bud don't fight him. But I just said, oh hell, where he come from? And then he said he coming for his, and he being put in the position where he can be the Mando. Pro Bellum, for the most part, as a promoter, is like the new kid on the block. And like I said, when I say that it's headed by Richard Schaefer, expect some good things to come up out of that. Andrew Charles is in the building. He said, Miss T, fire. Miss T on fire? Is it the shoes? But let me move on to Chocolate Tito. Chocolate Tito versus Martinez might be canceled again. Y'all know it's been moved. Remember, Chocolatito was supposed to fight Estrada, I want to say that's the guy, and that fell through. Then Martinez stepped up, which everybody said was a good step up. You know, they when they fighting at these low weights, every pound count. This dude was 112 moving up to 115. I was like, 3 pounds? You actually gonna report that shit? In my head, I'm thinking everybody 118 and down, y'all fight each other. But apparently those little pounds can mean the difference. I should know that, but hey, whatever. I mean, when you grown, you grown. But I know that on babies, every little ounce and pound matters. And so, and they little folks. Why is this happening? Martinez didn't make weight in 2 attempts. His fight is today, so his weigh-in was yesterday. He didn't make weight in 2 attempts. And so, like I said, he moved up from 112 to 115 as a replacement to Estrada, who either got out because of COVID or something else. I can't remember. And he, from what they said, was well over the limit. They didn't say how much. But Chocolatito's side is willing to continue regardless of the fact. And they like, dude can have to Saturday, like hours or so before the fight. Cali Commission is not going to allow that. And I understand why. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why. To the person who just texted me, yeah, I remember that. I remember I remember that all too well. But Chocolatito said, I don't care, I'm willing to fight him anyway. But the Cali Commission said nah. And it's the first time I actually thought about, because I used to be like, why don't y'all make weight the same day and fight? But I thought about it. That is, it's more safe for them to do it the day before and then hydrate or don't hydrate. Last thing you want somebody to do is come in. You talking about extreme boxing at that point. Come in on the day of the fight, your weigh in maybe 4 or 5 hours before your fight. If you drain and damn near kill yourself trying to make that weight, and then you fight 4 hours later, we will be sanctioning murder on TV. That's exactly what we be doing, because you need that time to recuperate, rejuvenate, recharge. As I always say, drink your water right before you close your eyes, because what happens in sleep, all of those things. So I get it now. I get it. That when I was reading this article, I don't know why it wasn't that clear to me, because I'm on some strict shit. Like, fuck it, come in the day of the fight. That way your ass will pick the right weight. I bet you do that. But you know what? We could be sanctioning fucking murder before your eyes, and nobody wants to see that. We don't want the fight game to get to that point. And so, like I said, Chocolatito cool with it, but it ain't really up to him. Now Jake Donovan, I don't know who he's supposed to be. I've heard his name. I was thinking the damn, one of them Showtime specials or something. Jake Donovan. But I know it's not him. So Jake Donovan say, it's more to it than that. Y'all just not gonna get the full Monty, but it's more to it than that. And the fight is in jeopardy as of right now. But there's a flyweight title holder named Sonny Edwards. Never heard of him, but he threw his hat in the race. His name in the hat. He said he wants in, and he will fly out to Sandow to show you he wants in. But now the thing with that is, having said that, and shout out to the young man for even putting it out there, it's too much things that has to be checked off before you can just jump in any fight, especially this one, considering the location, who they working with. He has to go through Probellum, MTK. It's a lot of moving parts, and not to mention the Cali Commission. So and that shit just can't be happening in a couple of hours. But that's what it amount to, a couple of hours. If they would be like, yeah, so they will rather cancel the fight, and maybe they can make their undercard step up to be a main event. I don't know. If they get that opportunity, you better show out. Yogi said, "You're welcome, sis. Thanks, sis." When you get up there, they better show out. You know what I'm saying? So Cali Commission has a point with that, especially with them low weights. If they let this dude try to make weight Saturday, like if I'm sure they're gonna look at him hard. Ain't no sense of putting that man in there to run it potential of risking his life. Because Chocolatito ain't nobody to fuck with. Don't play with him. That dude gonna give it all. He gonna give it all. He gonna leave it in that ring. He was real close to breaking Rocky Marciano on the record as well as Floyd, but he ran across that. I will never forget that fight that he fought with that the Asian guy. I don't know his name, but that Asian guy. Whew, shout out to him. I wish I could keep seeing him fight. I don't know what he is, but like when they say styles may fight, he beat the brakes off of Chocolatito. But in the end, Sonny Edwards, he put his name in the hat. So his name is out there. So we can all respect that. But you know, that's what's going on. I don't know about the DAZN fight. I hope it continues because I'm telling you guys, them are undercards. And if y'all wind up, I ain't telling you to buy DAZN. But if y'all was to wind up start buying DAZN, I probably have to shut my mouth because I be advertising everybody. Like when I be talking about my water, I be talking about Deer Park. You know, everybody getting some advertising off of me for the free. I'm gonna have to rethink. I'm gonna have to reevaluate that. But the zone does, and I'm giving them credit. I'm being unbiased. Do Eddie run his shit exactly like I like? No. Do he do right by all his favorites? No. All his fighters? No. He run that shit sometimes like a plantation. If you listen to his daddy think he got a plantation. You know what I'm saying? Dillian White is on the plantation. And Dillian is the one, y'all know I don't like him, but hey, I ain't mad at Dillian because they doing him wrong. If you don't know what your value is, how you expect somebody else to know what your value is? You don't let people tell you your value. That's why I don't like the money talk outside for everybody to see before you can come to a consensus. Because now everybody want to put their 2 cents on whether you have value or not. Stop that. Stop that. Eddie Hearn pays his players, his fighters, whatever you want to call them. He pays them. Not once have I seen, and I'm still waiting. In my Jodeci voice, I'm still waiting. You know, I'm waiting. Eddie Hearn pays his people. And as long as he pays his people, fair exchange is no robbery, right? So, but you know, it don't mean that that's the guy that you run to, you want to run to. I done said so many motherfucking songs. If I actually had a voice, I would have sung all that shit. I said, I'm still waiting. That don't mean you want to run to Whitney Houston. If I had a voice, I would have sung you a little missive, a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Two American kids doing the best that they can. Oh shit. I guess y'all had to be there. I'm sorry. But please like and share and subscribe to the channel. Just don't be out there eye hustling and reckless eyeballing and shit. Hit the like and share when you step into the square circle. Hit the link, lean on the leasy when you step into the easy. Y'all just come out. Like even if whatever, y'all make sure y'all just hit that like button. Come on, and help me get my subscribers up and all that stuff. And guess what? I started putting on my thumbnail the times of the show. I put it at the bottom of this little ticker, but YouTube got it out for me. I think Al Heyman then alerted YouTube to my presence, and so YouTube is going against their way to make sure. I'm just joking. Remember when the presidential campaign when I think Mitt Romney and Barack Obama was running, and Keenan, the dude on Saturday Night Live, he was like, he would go from job to job. He's like, Bain. He would blame everything on Bain because Bain was one of them companies that buy up your company and then dismantle it. So every job he went to, his job went in because Bain was scooping in and whatever. Then they showed him shining shoes. And then he said, Bain, I was done. I was done. Yogi said, laugh out loud, mine's still in the box. I know that's right. But how? Leave me alone. Did I just do Michael Jackson? Oh my God. I know y'all. I'm not on one tonight. Not yet. Stay away from the wine bottles. Anyway, when you know better, you do better. Thank y'all for joining me, and I will be back on Sunday, I believe. I believe if I don't have nothing to say, I'm gonna keep saying the same thing over and over again, even though I like to, because repetition helps us learn. But I'm not gonna keep doing that because my wellness. I just got one little wheelhouse, and I stick in that. I just stick in that. Anyway, when you know better, you do better. Thank y'all for joining me. And all I got to say is peace.